what you are going through, God will make a way. He will make a way where there seems to be no way.
For 30 years, she has suffered the sickness. And as we are singing and praising God right now, she felt something just leave her body. And now she's free. There's no pain. Come on, somebody!
They have kept you quiet for a very long time. Today you say, hey, hey, hey. But in every nation, he that feareth him and worketh righteousness is accepted with him. In verse 36, the Bible said, the word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Jesus Christ, that he is Lord of all. That he is Lord. He is Lord. Oh, can you feel the anointing here?
He has risen from the dead. He is Lord. Every knee shall bow, every tongue confess that Jesus Christ is Lord.
Number 4, the anointing is life. The anointing is life. Anybody who carries anointing carries life. L-I-F-E, life. Inkwa, voila. Anointing is life. Anybody who carries anointing, you carry life. Anybody who carries anointing is not dead. Anybody who carries anointing is active. Anybody who carries anointing is alert. Anybody who carries anointing is vigilant. Anybody who carries anointing is sensitive. Anybody who carries anointing is life. Anointing is sensitivity. When you carry anointing, you are sensitive. You carry life. You are sharp. Anybody who carries anointing, oh yes, you can carry the anointing. I'll be preaching sometime, and I'll still notice certain silly things that are going on. Sometimes my wife saying, so how did you take your time to see this detail to do? Hey, the fact that I'm moving anointing doesn't mean I should not be detailed. In fact, anointed person must be detailed. The word which God sent unto the children of Israel, preaching peace by Jesus Christ, that he is Lord of Lords. Verse 37. That word, I say, you know. Don't you know that word? You know that word. That word says it's the beginning and the end. That word says it's the Alpha and the... You know, that word says I am that I. That word says because he live, I can face. That word says it's the head and not there. That word says above and not. That word says for God so that he is only... that whosoever should not but have everlasting. That word says no weapon that is fashioned against you shall every tongue that rises against you shall be condemned. You know, don't you know that word? Don't you know that he's a beginning and there? Don't you know that he's got the whole world?
He's got the whole world.
Don't you know?
He's got the whole world. He's got the whole world.
Unknown name you say.
Unknown name you
shedding sun.
Unknown name you shedding sun. Unknown name you shedding sun. Unknown name you.
That way you know that word that says that he is the head, and that makes you the head, so you are not the tail. That word that said, what then shall we say? If who? That word I say, which was preached throughout all Judea and began from Galilee after the baptism which John preached. And the bombshell, he finally dropped it. Peter said, how God anointed Jesus of Nazareth. Now, anytime I reach this part of the Bible, I want to illustrate it. How many of you here has been to Israel before? Okay. What is one thing you notice about Israel, about Nazareth? Did you see Nazareth under the big church? Nazareth is under the church. They have built a church over Nazareth. So you go below the church. Did you go there in Nazareth? Okay. Sometimes, I think we need that. Sometimes when you go with the wrong tour guide who doesn't believe in Christ, they take you to all the wrong places. What is the size of the original Nazareth?
It will be about 1/4 of this room.
Nazareth, no, I can. It's about 1/4 of this room. Yes, I think so. About 1/3. I think it's about 1/3 of this room. Nazareth is a carpenter's shop. Full stop. A crasifo ekra. A village of villages. Insignificant. That is why Nathanael and sent us. Can anything good come out of Nazareth? Because Nazareth, in fact, modern day Nazareth is about what size?
It's about a cross posting.
That's all. So some of the significant, that's why when you're going to Israel, you go with the right tour guide. Those of us who have gone a lot, we know, we tell the tour guide where we want to go there, because otherwise they will take you to all the wrong places. And of course, within 1 week, you can't do everything. How God anointed Jesus of Nazareth. Not Jesus of Judea. Not Jesus of Capernaum. Not Jesus of Jerusalem. Not Jesus of Judea. In fact, the whole of Israel, certain things we think were real are exaggerated. How many of you have heard of the Sea of Galilee before? How many of you know that the Sea of Galilee is not a sea? It's a lake. Did you go on the lake? Did you see the end of the lake? Yeah, there's a lake. The Sea of Galilee is smaller than Lake Bosomtwi. Sometimes these things, when we make it bare like that, the Sea of Galilee is smaller than Lake Bosomtwi. In fact, the Sea of Galilee has 5 names. On one side is what?
Sea of Tiberias.
Is another side.
Sea of Capernaum.
Is another side.
Sea of Galilee.
To the same sea. So check the Bible. Check the Bible. These things, we do it so that you can check the Bible. So Tiberias, Sea of Galilee. Galilee, Sea of Galilee. Capernaum, Sea of Galilee. The same sea, small. In fact, even the Dead Sea, you also saw it if you ever went there. It's also a lake. That is even smaller. The Sea of Galilee is 6 miles long and 4 miles wide. And as for the Dead Sea, there is much even smaller. And yes, God used it to do insignificant things. When you saw Golgotha, the place of the skull. Did you go there? Golgotha. Oh. Next time we go, we know how to take you there. Yeah, you go with me. We know how to take you close. We know how to do things. Oh, yeah. Take you closer. The Golgotha, on a hill far away stood an old rugged cross, the emblem of suffering and shame. And I loved that old cross where the dear rest and best, for the world of the sinners was slain. So I'll cherish the old rugged cross till my trophies at last are laid down. I will cling to the old rugged cross and exchange his something for love. That hill far away, if you're a very good athlete, you can jump it. In fact, it is believed that Israelis, they exaggerate things, they make easy things big. It's only in Israel that one sheep can give birth to 24 lambs. Only in Israel. One cow can give birth to about 10. Only in Israel. I remember in 82 or 80, they had the early days of the revolution. Rollins made them bring some from Israel. Those days, it was Courage Kashi, Captain Major Courage Kashiga. He brought it to Ghana, and they reared them here. When the sheep that was giving birth to 20, when they gave birth here, it was 4. Am I talking to somebody? Everybody say we are talking about anointing. And so after 1 year, they took them to where? To Togo. When they went to Togo, they gave birth to 3. Then they say, okay, since the South Africa, the same West Africa zone, let's try them with Nigeria. They took them to Nigeria. It was 2-1, 2-1, 2-1. They carried them back to Israel again. They started giving birth to 20 again. May you receive that anointing. The anointing of multiplication. Hey! Also, another thing about anointing, you want to write the anointing is identity. Anointing is identity. Anybody who carries anointing carries an identity. Kojo Bempa begins to preach, you see identity. Lawrence Tetteh is preaching, you see identity. Who are some of the people who have come here you remember? Naba is speaking, you see identity. Somebody, that's what I mean. You're somebody speaking. Bishop Dag speaking, you see identity. Bishop Takia Boy speaking, Isaac Kwe speaking, you see identity. When you carry anointing, you carry an identity. That is why when we are being ordained, anointing is poured on our head. It is a sign of identity. From today, may you receive identity. But also, what does anointing mean? The next point was anointing is an endorsement. Anybody who carries an anointing, it means God has endorsed the person. That is why also for Bempa, the Bible says, touch not my anointed and do my prophet. People don't understand that thing. Some of you, you've taken curses and you've been into trouble because the hand that fed you, you bite it. The anointing that you have drunk from, don't hurt it. Church people can be very silly. If you want to go quietly. Stop destroying the thing you drank from. Because who couldn't talk, I want to mean you free. Touch not my anointed. Now I'm not saying this because I'm preaching for Kojo Bempa. I'm preaching to somebody in Italy. I'm preaching to somebody in Calabar. In fact, this program now, everybody that follows Papayo or Richard Jaffo's ministry is watching it. So we've come to that place in our life where we can't even misplace it. I can't do anything silly. I have to be very careful. I can't even say something here that I'm not supposed to say. I can be called. Yeah. I know colleagues of mine who have finished preaching and Papayo has called them that from today, you won't preach for me again because what you said, I don't believe in it. I know people, God help me not to even go far. I know people have gone to preach for Papayo. They couldn't go back again. So at this stage of our life, we are careful. And of course, to those of us who know we are public people, we are mindful of what we say. But trust me, the press is scrutinizing us more than we scrutinize ourselves. Did really the blind eye open? Truly, did the short leg grow? Is it the anointing? Did he fall by the anointing truly? Did he not show off? Is he not using his own people to let them fall? So we see his. Yes. If you know how people analyze these things, you have no idea. Anointing is also the presence of God. Anybody who carries anointing, it means you carry the presence of God. Like Kojo Bempa rightly said, something happened. That was anointing. But what else do I say about anointing? Anointing breaks the yoke. Anointing breaks the yoke. We've all read about it in Isaiah chapter 10, verse 27. The yoke shall be broken by the reason of the anointing. Sickness is a yoke. Poverty is a yoke. Not being able to marry is a yoke. Not being able to have children is a yoke. Not being able to be released is a yoke. Not being able to be healed is a yoke. Sickness is a yoke. Embarrassment is a yoke. Frustration is a yoke. Weakness is also a yoke. Weakness is a yoke. Weakness is a yoke. You can have certain weakness that you have no control about. It is a yoke. And the only thing that breaks weakness is anointing. That is why the greatest way of deliverance is when somebody is anointed. In fact, what Tetteh used to call me, now I have what hands? Competent hands. And sometimes they used it to use me, man. We travel to some place, we are doing deliverance. People say, call Lawrence. Lawrence has competent hands. But some people are so go out with some demon. We have no time. Tetteh call me Lawrence. Lawrence has competent hands. Sometimes you are tired. They say, do it. Lawrence will do it quick. And we go, yes, God, I know when I lay hands, something happens. May you lay hands for something to happen. You didn't hear what I say? I say, may you lay hands for something to happen. May you lay hands for something to happen. May you lay hands for certain things to change. May you lay hands for manifestation to happen. May you lay hands for something to happen. Safe in the arms of Jesus, saved by his gentle breath. Who are the ones who that lady who sang well? Well, give her the microphone this time. Oh, say, give her the microphone. Sweet in my soul shall rest. Oh, safe in the arms of Jesus, save on a gentle breath. Wherever you turn, over shaven, sweet in my soul shall. Anointing is also an empowerment. Anybody who carries an anointing has been empowered by God. Men don't give anointing, only God gives. You didn't hear what I said. If men give anointing, Elijah would have given to Elisha. Men don't give anointing, only God. So anybody who carries anointing must be directed by something. That is why, like what you are doing with me, like what I'm doing with Tetteh, what I'm doing is something, you have to connect people's spirit in order to carry the anointing. You don't carry anointing, your spirit is not connected to. Somebody with me. You don't do what? In fact, anointing comes only as a result of service. The day you stop being serviceable and helpful, and you stop serving in any capacity in the church, that is the day you lost the anointing. Everybody must be anointed for something. How many of you have eaten somebody's food before and know this food is sweet? Yeah, anointing for food. Yeah, am I okay? Everybody cook, but there's some food when you eat, you know this food. Everybody is talking. Somebody finished talking. Oh yeah. As preachers, haven't we heard some people finish speaking before? And you are sitting as a preacher saying, acquire comments, anointing to speak. How many of you know that there's even anointing to dress? How many of you know that? Some of you, what you are wearing now is something cheap, but the way you put it on make you look something. You'll be surprised there are people rather who bought expensive one. They say at the choir today everybody should wear black and put some ribbon here. You too, you didn't have black, so you went to Tetteh station, you wore black. But when you put it on and you came here, the person whose sister sang this song from Dubai or from London of America, your own from Tetteh station look nicer than him. That is what is called anointing. Am I talking to somebody? Anointing is also beauty. Beauty for ashes. Anybody who carries anointing carries beauty. I hope I'm talking to somebody. I feel such a strong anointing. I don't just want to lay hands. I just want you to get into this thing. And I speak by inspiration. Somebody asked me that for the past 3 days, they've not seen me open the Bible. Listen, we don't have to be religious. I give quotations. And you can't tell me what I'm preaching has no consistency. Yeah. Beautiful ashes. This anointing I'm talking about, also for Bempa, is not for sale. Anointing is not for sale. If anointing was for sale, you and I were the last people to get anointed. Like Rollins would have bought it for his children. Kufuor would have bought it for his children. Atamels would have bought it for his children. John Mama would have finished it. And Anado now would have conquered it. But it's not he that willeth, not he that worketh, for be still and know
that I am God. Be still and know that I am God. Be still and know that I am God.
I say, be still
and
know
that I am
be still and know. Hey, 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 hey.
that I am God. Be still and know that I am God.
Anointing is also the separator. Anointing will separate you. From the day you get anointed, that is the day you get separated. In the olden days, kings, priests, and prophets were anointed to be separated. Is somebody learning something? In the olden days, what? Kings, priests, and prophets were anointed. When they anoint you, when they anoint you, is a sign of separation. That is what happened to Saul when they anointed him first. They say he stands out. They separated him from the people. It was the spiritual height. Stood out, spiritual height. People look at it because he was physically tall. No, he stood out. He stood out. You see him. You think when you are with your colleagues, we don't see you. We see you. It's not your height. It's not the eloquence. It's what nyame de ama ono. And no, nia nyame aka say obey no.
Chana obey. Yo nyame aka say obey no. Ena obey.
They say onipa to me sia no kwan.
Asafo to me sia no kwan. Yo nyame aka say obey no. Ena obey. Nyame aka say obey shirawo. Send your tibia or Beshirawo. Send your Mikasa, Weshirawa. Or the baby to miss you quite the big. The wash is a sort you bet you know. Ewa no bet you know. I won't come and show. Masasia ne soir, mi ye be kukuko. E wo musa me bre, na so mi bob marado. Na so mi chef ya sing. Ye be bo mi dik e wa ifie. Yo nya mi ata so be ye no. E ye na ra obey. Yo nya mi ata so be no. E ye na ra obey. But different to me say what quiet. I said for to me say no quiet. You nya me a so obey no. Hey na obey.
Kings, priests, and prophets were anointed to be separated unto good work. So you must be a king, or you are a priest, or you are a prophet. So there must be a separation. Hear me. That is what separates you from your classmates. That's what separates you from your brothers and sisters. That's what separates you from your village. That's what even separates you in the church. Listen, gentlemen, don't tell me that everyone in the church is the same. No. Now some people, you don't know what they do, but they are loved. I'm talking to somebody here. How many of you are like that? They just hate you. They don't like you. They cannot understand you. You yourself, you don't understand yourself. So if they cannot stand you, that is their business. Leave that business of not understanding you to them. Don't explain yourself to people. You don't need to explain yourself to them because they will not understand. Even when you explain it to them, they will not understand. How many of you are here like that? That people don't understand you. They don't understand you. But what they don't realize that you yourself, you don't understand yourself. It's not he that willeth, the we that willeth. It is not how good you plan. It's not how well you spoke. It's not how well you dress. It's because there's something on you that does not come from man. It came from God.
I won't come and show. Hey, my sassy and this one. I want to say